It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and thanks for checking in to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. And find me on here weekday mornings at 8 a.m. for a few more weeks, and then you'll start finding me on here starting at 7 a.m. So, again, thank you to all the show listeners, past guests, and sponsors who have helped make this show a success each and every morning. Also, you can learn more about the program over at tampabayradio.com. All shows available on demand, and you can see all the guests that have been a part of the show after they come on the program. We put their show cards up with a link to their show and a little blog about what they talked about on the program. So you can consider the website a resource also for service providers in the Tampa Bay region, and we're approaching 500 guests on this program. So, again, a lot of fun doing this program each and every morning, and as always, the show, always looking for content. Please get in touch with me if you have any interest in being on the program. Tuesdays means it's TBBO Tuesdays, which highlights a couple of the members from the Tampa Bay Business Owners, a local business peer-to-peer support community, the premier business society in the Tampa Bay region. It's the only one of its kind in this area, a great group of business professionals, and it's led here by Chris Kermitzos, who is on the phone line with me. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jamie. How you doing?
Doing good. Getting ready for the big main event tomorrow. Tell the audience a little about this.
Yeah, actually, I did the pre-interview last week. We have Erin Meager of Calapo Oils. She does coconut oils. She's going to be talking about kind of how to get shelf space on Publix, what you need to really get on the shelves, move products, the pros and cons of having your product on the shelves, and it's a pretty interesting story. She saw the benefits of coconut oil, and somehow she negotiated with people from Sri Lanka to bring in some of the best quality coconut pulp to make the best quality coconut oil.
Yep, and that's being held at the Center Club tomorrow. You can pick up tickets if you go to tbbo.org, and if you're interested in attending as a guest for free, reach out to me or Chris. You can send me a message through the contact form. But the main event is the premier event each month put on by the Tampa Bay Business Owners. Usually draws anywhere between 70 and 130 people or so, right, Chris?
Absolutely. That's why we love to have the numbers for the main event. The interesting thing is I asked her, what. She started with a single product line, but now it's a $10 million a year revenue business, and it's about to triple in size. So really amazing story.
Well, looking forward to hearing that. That's one of the things we love about the Tampa Bay Business Owners organization. I mean, you get to learn from upper echelon entrepreneurs each and every month, and you've brought in some amazing professionals through the years. Chris, one of the things people may not be familiar with is that you're also commissioned a film for podcasting, an area that you're involved in very much so here in the Tampa Bay region, but you've commissioned this film on podcasting. So tell us a little about this. I find this very interesting.
Yeah, actually, when I talked to the crew, we have to set up a time to come into your studio to film you while you're doing your magic. Podcasting's a big thing, and when we were doing it, I have so many different podcasters from different walks of life that we said we have to make a documentary about this, because we got a guy that does a podcasting around horse husbandry, another guy that does a podcast around drones. We have ladies that are doing podcasts around their flow, their cycle. We have, it runs the gamut. I mean, we have someone that does a running podcast. My wife does one about business. So we've been interviewing now and banking interviews here locally, but pretty soon here, next month, we're going to be going around the state and out of the state to grab some interviews. But the title, the working title right now, which came out of one of the interviews, is going to be called The Messengers, because if you ask each podcaster why they do what they do, it's because they have a message to send to their tribes. So that's it's going to be called The Messengers.
When is the planned release date of this, and how does this work? Do you plan to enter this into film festivals?
Yeah, that's really what we're going to have. I'm going to be doing a crowdfunding campaign to just raise awareness and some funds just for the editing part. We got the filming pretty much covered. My goal is to have it by end of June. But as you know, we're going to have about 100 hours of working footage pretty soon. and it'll take us a couple iterations to make this movie, but we feel very strongly. The only challenge is we have too much good content, which is the best challenge to have. So we'll have a lot of different things to pull from for this documentary. So, yeah, somewhere end of June. My goal is also to premiere here. Not premiere. It'll be at different things, but I'd love to have it screened at Gasparilla next year in our own hometown as one of the film festivals we enter.
Hey, when he comes in with the film crew, we should wear luchador masks and business suits. That way we would stand out above all the other talented people that he gets to work with.
There you go. How's the Podcaster Association, how's the meetup groups going? People that aren't familiar with your meetup groups, when's your next meeting for one of those?
Yeah, the Florida Podcast Association is the second Tuesday, so it's not this week, next week on Tuesday, and we get about 30 people. Glenn the Geek, the Horse Radio Network, will be coming in from Ocala next week. So that's always an event you want to attend just to be with everybody. It's only $10. You just show up, pay $10, and you get a lot of good content on how to start a podcast, how to sustain a podcast, and then you get to hear experienced podcasters trading secrets of how they're monetizing and what their next moves are. So it's a really great meeting at McAllister's Deli from 6:30 to 8:30, and that's right across the International Mall.
Very cool. Well, Chris, as always, we appreciate the support of the Tampa Bay business owners each and every Tuesday on TBBO Tuesdays, and we'll see you tomorrow at the main event. So.
Yeah, Jamie, I'll see you mañana at the main event. I'm looking really forward to it.
Sounds good. And again, that was Chris Kermitzos, CEO and co-founder of the Tampa Bay Business Owners Organization, an excellent business peer-to-peer support community for business owners in the Tampa Bay region, approaching 300 members. So if you're a business owner in the Tampa Bay region and looking to grow your business, I highly recommend the organization. Only $5.95 a year and a $250 sign-up fee to join. And again, tbbo.org for more information on that. Also, we talk a lot with Chris about podcasting. So if there's any business professionals out there that are interested in learning more about this art, he does do the Florida Podcasters Meetup Group once a month. And also, on top of that, I'm also interested in finding other podcasters in the business space that would like to share material with myself and the show under that Business Show brand, and we can kind of co-market each other's product. So if you're doing a business podcast and you'd like to get together with the show, I'd love to help get your material out there to the community by putting it up on the website, which is tampabayradio.com. I'm going to take a quick break. Coming back from the break, I got a couple members of the Tampa Bay Business Owners Organization in studio with me today. We'll be talking with Kelly Hamm and Suzanne Lewis today of Billmeyer Hamm Consulting. You're listening to That Business Show. Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. 4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Traffic on the interstates lightening up just a bit. Still slow, though, on southbound 275 between Fletcher and Sly. Southbound Veterans Expressway between Gunn Highway and Waters. Crash in Pasco County, blocking a lane or two on northbound Little Road north of Embassy Boulevard, and one being cleared in Largo. Almerton, just west of 113th. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. A more peaceful, healthy world happens one person at a time. Around the globe, there are children who dream of helping their families, who hope for the future, and who have a name. Know the person you're helping directly at unbound.org. That's unbound.org.
Today, mostly sunny with low humidity, high 80. Tonight, mostly clear, low 59. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasant once again, high 80.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to the show, everybody. Thanks for staying tuned in to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. And on this TBBO Tuesdays, please help support the Tampa Bay business owners and learn more over at tbbo.org. And keep in mind, upcoming main event tomorrow at the Center Club, going on from 5 to about 7:30. So if you'd like to attend free of charge, we do invite anybody over there. Welcome as a guest one time. Send me a message through the contact form over at TampaBayRadio.com, and we can get you over a free complimentary guest ticket. Again, TampaBayRadio.com. Let's bring on my guests for the program, a couple of the members from the organization. I have Kelly Hamm, founder and managing principal consultant at Billmeyer Hamm Consulting, who has 25 years plus of HR strategic business partner experience, and joined in studio by business consultant Suzanne Lewis, who's also her sister, I just found out.
Yes.
So, ladies, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jamie. So happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
So, Kelly, your business here is not traditional HR, though.
Right.
First off, now you've launched this about a year and a half ago, correct?
Yeah, about coming up to actually a year.
Okay,
so last June.
Your background is in traditional HR practices.
It is.
But Billmeyer Hamm Consulting is non-traditional. How does it differ?
Yep. So I spent the majority of my career as an HR director working for a Fortune 50 company, corporate America, which I know many of your guests, many members of TBBO have had that corporate experience. And it was a great run, really had a good time with it in human resources. But really where I gravitated to and what really jazzes me is working with leaders, excuse me, to transform their workforce culture, because I really strongly believe, very passionate about, once leaders get their workforce culture straight and right and aligned, that their business results are going to soar.
Okay, so you go into businesses and you're not doing the traditional practices. You're going in, it sounds to me almost like you're counseling then,
yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah, so that's a great segue. So what I do is our business model is really broken down into 4 components. And so we do go in and do traditional HR strategic analysis, workforce planning, talent optimization. So basically, Jamie, I'll go in and I'll work with an executive and say, what are your biggest people problems? What are things that are keeping you up at night? And begin to really put my listening ears on and listen to what it is that's driving their business, what's working well.
And what's the number one complaint you hear then from business owners within the HR spectrum? Is it just lack of cohesion between the from the workers, or what is it out there?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's actually a number of things.
Negative Nancy's.
There is, and that's what the premise of our business is all about, is driving the workforce culture, because people are seeing that they're very, very focused on driving results. But sometimes their priorities get mixed up. They get off course, or maybe their people are not necessarily clear on what the business goals are, and so there's a breakdown in alignment. And what that leads to is high turnover, just not being able to meet business goals, business results, breakdown in communications. So an example would be, at the executive level, pretty much the execs leadership team are clear on what their business goals are and what they're wanting to achieve. But what I find where there's great opportunity is there's a breakdown when you get down to the frontline employee, that they don't understand maybe, or have that transparency to understand what it is that they're trying to achieve. What is the business really trying to do, and where do people fit in?
I mean, the age-old argument is management versus employee.
Yeah.
In your experience, where are you seeing the breakdown in communication? Is it on the employee side, or is it on the management side?
I would say both, because I would say both. And I think that that's one of the things that we're really focused on, is breaking down walls and barriers so that it's much more of a cohesive, collaborative workforce environment. And certainly as we're watching demographics change and the M word, the millennials coming to play.
Coming through, yeah.
There's a lot of talk about that, but the reality is they think differently and they want to be part of solutions, not just more traditional.
They're definitely hard workers, too. What do you do with the problem people? I mean, do you sit them down in a meeting, or are they just, fired right off the bat?
Yeah. Josh,
can we just fire them?
Put them in the cage with those wrestlers and let them go at it.
Yeah, we had a lot of talk prior to going on the air about the WrestleMania. We don't do that. So sometimes what we do is we sit down and we figure out, well, what's the root cause? What is causing the employee to be disengaged, to be unhappy, to maybe not be as focused on achieving their goals as they could be? Many times, again, it gets back to people just not understanding their role and how they can be part of.
Every time
there's a wrestling pun right there. Know your role.
Every time we go down to these types of conversations, Office Space always comes to my mind. It's my favorite workplace movie, and I have the vision of you all being these efficiency experts that are going through the Bob and going through and clearing house. You're going in there under the guise of improving the company, but what you're really doing is going in there and interviewing for your own job. So I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Office Space.
I'm not, but I'm going to be watching it maybe this weekend.
Then you got to see that. That is a cult classic movie about workplace culture.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. It was created by the creators of Beavis and Butthead. It just got great office humor. So you got to check out.
I'm totally
Office Space.
checking it out. Checking it out.
Is your business here? You were 25 years in traditional HR. Was this your first crack at your own business?
It is. So I am, again, very successful career. Very blessed and fortunate to have acquired so many experiences working. The company that I worked for, that we both worked for, and I'll be talking about Suzanne in one moment, is there were 50,000 associates all across the country. So we had a lot of exposure to lots of different cultures as we acquired and merged companies together, different leaders, different styles. And so
what was the catalyst to get you out of the corporate world? I always like to find the out in people, because there's so many people out there that want to do their own thing and have that talent, but yet they don't step outside the box. What inspires you?
I know that if you look at business drivers, typically broken down into people, process, and technology, I'm all about people, and I'm all about workforce culture. Mm-hmm. And what inspires me is helping leaders and helping associates achieve business results by working in an environment that is collaborative, cohesive, healthy. And that's what drives me. Mm-hmm. Every day I get to wake up and figure out how I'm going to help an organization or a leader achieve their business goals. But promoting just a
How do you
great
market
workforce.
this business, though? Because, in a business, everybody's looking to cut costs and not expend. And when you come in, you want to change culture. That's a hard sell to a business. How do you make that pitch?
Great question.
Fire the negative people.
Well, sometimes you do, after some time of assessment, sometimes people do have to go and find, where they're better suited. How I market it is really, this is a need to have, not necessarily a nice to have. And historically, people have had leadership training and development programs. And when budgets are presented, that's one of the line items that goes first. I would argue as well as some other industry leaders, that your workforce culture actually is equally to important as your business strategy. Because if you don't have your people, the right people doing the right things, focused on the right areas, you can forget about your business strategy.
Now, is there a certain niche business that you work well with, or pretty much any type of organization can you go in and help?
Yeah, so my niche business started out actually with CIOs and CFOs. That had been past the latter part of my career at the organization was within the IT organization. And where I found I was successful was technologists, and I love them, are all about talking the technology speak, architecture, application development, infrastructure. And so what I came in to do, and where I had great success, was working with the CIO and the executive team to say, okay, what is it that you're trying to say? What are you trying to accomplish? And as a non-techie person, I was able to break down some of those messages and get to the frontline employees and basically say, are we just saying the cow jumped over the moon? And they'd say, well, yeah, that's what we want to say. I go, well, why don't we just say the cow jumped over the moon, right?
Is there a certain size organization where you start to have more of a workplace culture issue, or can it be at any level of a business?
Any, and that's the beauty. So I started with the IT and the finance world, but really over the past year, it's expanded into all different markets.
And I think I've always thought that culture kind of derives off of the leader.
It does.
Whoever's leading drives the culture. So you got to start from the top and then talk to that individual about their standards and their practices. Am I
It does.
correct?
You're right. And it's last week you had a great guest, Adam from Red Rook Inn, and he, I couldn't have set that up better. What he talked about was not his technology services, but one of the things he highlighted was the culture that he had at his organization.
Yeah, it sounded like Google almost, the way they ran their organization.
Yeah, basketball courts. And
basketball courts, different themed bathrooms, like a Star Wars bathroom.
I'm there.
Yeah, it was quite it sounded like a great place to work.
Yeah, those things are really, really important, Jamie. But I would also encourage that when I define culture, it's also not just the way that we show up, but what are our values? How do we deliver our messages? How are we engaging with our associates? Do we understand what the needs are? Do people understand what the goals are? Are they aligned to the goals? So it's all those other things are fantastic to have. Believe me, I love it. But I believe also the awareness and the value that I bring to organizations is, let's start and dissect what are you trying to achieve and where's the breakdown from the leadership to the frontline employee.
Very good. Well, I got to take a quick bottom of the hour break. Currently here in studio with Kelly Hamm, founder and principal consultant with Billmeyer Hamm Consulting, and she's joined also in studio by Suzanne Lewis, her sister and business consultant. We'll talk with her about her role in the company when we come back from the break. And also you've got an upcoming event that's going on April 25th, so we'll talk a little about your breakfast seminar that's coming up as well. And also you can learn more about your company over at BillmeyerHamm.com. So stay tuned. We got a lot more about talking about workplace culture here on this segment of That Business Show. And also keep in mind, it's TBBO Tuesday, so help support the Tampa Bay business owners. Visit tbbo.org and also be sure to pick up a ticket to the main event going on tomorrow at the Center Club. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. For more information, go to myfwc.com. A message from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Good morning. As we take a look at the Bay Area bridges, some minor delays on the eastbound side of the Courtney Campbell Causeway. Also, the Howard Franklin Bridge. Slow on the bridge, but once you pass the West Shore area, you're good to go into downtown Tampa. Southbound 275 still a bit slow between Bierce and Sly, and also westbound I-4 slow from 75 over to MLK. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Papa Lock.
It took you 6 months to find the perfect house, and now you're finally moving in. But there's no telling who else has a key. So you call a name you trust. Papa Lock. Call the locksmiths at Papa Lock. We'll make sure your home is safe and secure.
1250 winds weather center forecast. 80 for the high today. Mostly sunny skies, a few scattered clouds. Low 60s tonight. Tomorrow, slight chance of rain. 80 for the high once again. Then the front moving in Thursday will cool us down a bit. Mid-70s. We'll see rain on Thursday, but then low 70s Friday, Saturday, and plenty of sunshine. Impact Radio 1250 winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Please check out TampaBayRadio.com. Over there, all shows available on demand. Also, you'll notice I sell real estate. I'm a top 5 Coldwell Banker agent nationally, so 1,500 plus homes sold in the last 8 years. So if I can in any way help you buying or selling real estate, please consider me your resource. And also, if you're looking to sell your home in the Tampa Bay region, please take advantage of the free home valuation tool, and we'll get you over a home valuation. And I can get those out to you within about 24 to 48 business hours. It's a TBBO Tuesdays, talking with a couple of the members here. I've got Kelly Hamm, founder and principal consultant of Billmeyer Hamm Consulting, and joined in studio by a business consultant and her sister, Suzanne Lewis. And you can learn more about them over at BillmeyerHamm.com. So, Suzanne, what is your role in the company?
Well, thank you, Jamie. First, I'm going to apologize for any throat clearing or coughing. Thank you, Florida seasonal allergies. My role in the company is that Kelly and I are sisters, and we grew up in the Billmeyer culture. So Kelly was just talking a little bit about culture. And we grew up with 6 sisters and a brother, and a very, very close-knit family. And I think we were part of a culture long before it became kind of popular. If you go to our website at Billmeyer Hamm, you're going to see pictures of a golf tournament. Our parents died within 9 months of each other of cancer about 10 years ago. And when we lost them, our very close family was pretty devastated. But we decided that the best way that we could honor them was to jump into action. And we started a golf tournament, which now has gone for 10 years. And we've raised over $100,000 for 2 local cancer, one a hospital and one a Yale Discovery to Cure, that both of our parents had been involved with. And I think when we were just talking about culture and how do you make some changes and all, we like to look at we call them the 4 Fs, and I'm sure Josh will have something to say about that, but it's
nothing to offer there.
Fast, focused, flexible, and fun. And really, the golf tournament kind of came with those principles, that we needed to get something together quickly, so that was the fast part. Flexible, you had 7 siblings who all had really different ideas of how to do it. Focused, we knew we wanted to do a direct deposit to a charity. And fun, we always have fun. Our family has just a blast all the time. And I think those are the types of attributes that, because we were brought up that way, Kelly and I both bring to the workplace just as pretty natural.
I was going to ask Kelly, how do you incorporate fun into your culture, workplace culture talks with the CEOs? I mean, should they be having play dates with the workforce out and about?
Starting off, she has an amazing personality.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Josh. Yeah.
I got your back, homie.
Thank you. I do. I like this guy. Well, fun balances everything out, because sometimes we get so caught up in the strategies and the priorities, and people are running around trying to achieve goals, that we forget that we are people. We forget that this is just a job, as important as it is. And certainly I know, coming from a public company where we have absolutely obligations to our stakeholders, fun brings an element of kind of calmness back into the workplace and allows people to achieve the business goals in a healthier environment.
But should the CEO and the bosses be going out to the bars with the employees and having a good time?
I don't know if they should be going out to the bars with the employees, maybe doing a community effort, a community project together, going out to dinner, certainly. One of the things that...
What about a Guns N' Roses concert?
If that, one way that the leaders can better understand the workforce culture is understand what their people are all about. And if it's a Guns N' Roses concert or interest that they have, by all means, take them out there.
One day we were cooking hot dogs in the office. We were doing a ballpark theme. We had Dance Fridays where you learn to do moonwalking. I mean, things that can be a quick hit, 20 minutes, half hour, and really engage people into some activities that just lighten
it up.
Load,
can't lose the focus on the priorities and meeting the business goals. That's why we're all in business, right? You've got goals and you've got to achieve results.
My earliest mentor was, of course, my father. I worked for him for 5 years, and he was store manager at 84 Lumber, and I started working for him when I was 16, and he was kind of known as the fearsome, nobody messed with my dad type of leader, and I always would, when I started working for him, here I am, some 16-year-old kid working around a bunch of 30 and 40-year-old men talking about beer drinking and women and going out, and my dad never went out with them. I said, Dad, how come you don't go out with the guys? And he would always say, well, when you're a leader, you got to separate from the employees. You got to be in that role where they see you in a powerful position. And so I've always kind of adopted that mentality. Is that right or wrong?
I don't know that it necessarily is right today. I think that the more important thing, Jamie, is really understanding your people. One quick example, and you asked me earlier why I do what I do. And I remember years ago going over when I was an HR director in Connecticut, and going over and meeting with a manager, and we had to sit down and have a conversation with one of his employees who just wasn't doing what they needed to be doing as far as goals and things. And I'll never forget the day that I walked into his office and I said, okay, we're going to go meet with Jane Smith. I've got, some things we're going to go over. And he looked at me and he said, who's Jane Smith? I don't know who she is. And that hit me so to say, okay, that is fundamentally a problem that we have with managers and frontline employees or associates. Like, how would a manager not know who their people are? And that's one of my drivers. Like, actually, there's a book in the making, in Do You Know My Name? And breaking down those walls.
Yeah, companies that I've worked at, it always seemed that the guy or the boss that went through and shook everybody's hand every day or said hi to everybody always seemed to command more respect out of that.
Yeah,
exactly. Is that like something that people strategically plan, or is that just good people?
It's good. You know what it is? It's the leader who it's the leader who is aware that I need to understand my people. I need to understand what drives them. I need to show that I care, and
it needs to be sincere
and genuine.
Like, to your point, Josh, it can't be taught. Like, it's Monday and I'd like you to go shake everyone's hand, but you can coach the leaders to, I think sometimes, like what your father was trying to say, if I don't have a separation, maybe something will happen, and letting the leaders let go just a little bit. It can be as simple as putting a cookie on everybody's desk. I mean, honestly, you can't believe the response that gets at 3:00 when everyone gets a cookie or something, a Tootsie Pop. But just showing that we recognize that the people who come to work every day, 40 hours a week, are more than just the associate who sits at their desk and tolls away for the leaders or the company.
Yeah, there's nothing greater than committing a kind act.
Yep.
So how does your program work? Do you go in and you offer base packages, monthly consulting, annual? How does it work?
Yep. So the first thing we do is we go in and have a conversation, and you'll see out on our website and some of our materials is also costs you right now is a conversation and your interest in change. And so I'll give you a real live example with an organization wonderful organization that we're both working with down in Sarasota, the Easter Seals Association, under the fantastic leadership of Tom Waters. They're doing phenomenal things with the services down there. And so Tom is, one of his goals is to become an employer of choice organization. So I went in and I sat down and had conversations with Tom and some of his leadership team to say, what's working? What are things that we want to leverage and continue doing here? What are things that are broken that we need to come up with some solutions, partner and come up with some solutions to make it even better as we drive to be an employer of choice? That is one of the goals that he's committed to down there. So we've started doing things, the model that we present is doing one-on-one coaching with the leadership team, doing some traditional HR workforce analysis consulting and looking at their organizational model. How is their organization set up? Do they have succession planning in place? Do they have the right people in place? Luckily, yes, in most cases. What are the services that they're providing? What can we do to help those leaders and those employees deliver the best solutions that they can?
How often do you hear from the upper level in management about the change in workforce culture with the millennials that are coming through? Is that a common complaint? How the older generation, they don't understand the millennials and their apps and their phones?
Yes.
How do you consult, or do you hear this a lot now?
Yeah, it's out there. And so what I've started to do is getting back to that niche market of the IT organization is getting in and working with them to say, the managers who are more traditional in thinking or might have been, in their organizations for a little bit of time, we've started to do some seminars and coaching on, are you able to adjust your style for the changing demographics?
How do they got to adjust their style to work with the millennial? What's different about the millennial versus the baby boomer, for instance, in the workplace? Is it just that the baby boomer was more structured? They came in, they sat down right at 8 a.m., they did their work, and they didn't play on the phones. The millennials got to come in, sit down, text, go take a smoke break, then come back in, text some more. What's the difference?
Yeah, the difference is, and then Suzanne, please jump in. The difference is that this generation, and I'm the mom of two millennials, by the way, is looking for a more cohesive, collaborative, engaging workplace. Workplace. They are working, maybe traditionally, we've worked hard to save our money, buy our first home, and have a family and things like that. What I am seeing, what trends are showing is that people are looking to, come in, work hard, but their reward system is different than maybe traditional thinking. They want to make their money so they can go on trips, so that they can experience life. So some of the things that maybe were more important are shifting.
Is it a complaint amongst management that the millennials feel like they're more entitled, that they should have raises and benefits quicker than what traditionally has occurred in the workplace?
Yeah, you know what the biggest issue is that the millennials are asking more questions. And that's a misconception. When they ask questions, it's not because they're jerks or they want to be, disrespectful. It's because they're curious and they think differently. And so their questions are one of interest and curiosity, and they're thinking, what can they do to add value without even saying that?
And the culture that they were brought up in is what led them to this. Where the schooling that they've had is much more open about ask questions. So maybe a traditional 50s education was sit at your desk, do your test, don't raise your hand, don't get in trouble. We've created the millenniums, and we need to understand that they have their own values and how do they fit in. And that, I think, points a lot to the flexibility. You need to have leaders who understand that maybe that traditional work structure is not going to work, especially if you're in an industry that's employing, down here it could be tourism and, hospitals and things like that. What makes them tick? you may have to have a different incentive plan. Maybe they don't care so much about 401k plans or whatever.
Yeah, the traditional benefits are not necessarily appealing to the millennials, which is a hard thing to swallow for many of the baby boomers and stuff who've been stuff's been beat into us. Yeah. Of course, I'm not baby. I'm kind of in that. I'm Generation X. We're the lost generation. Yeah. So everybody used to talk about Generation X. Nobody talks about us anymore. So
I always thought Gen X's were older, and then I found out I was one. I was like, I'm more like the millennials, curiosity and asking a ton of questions, annoying my boss with them. Even
the Gen Xers, we ended in 77 or 78, and I was born in 77. So, but we were talking.
I heard it was 84.
I don't know. You hear different things.
Yeah.
And then there was Generation Y too. Then they came after X.
Sometimes I think I'm a millennial. Swear to God, even though I'm not in that age group, but my thinking, my innovative,
my out
there,
it's not defines us, right? It's the mentality. That's a good point. That's a good point.
They're also more about the connecting with people rather than just going to work and going home.
Exactly. Yeah. Collaborative, cohesive.
Let me take a break here. Currently talking to Kelly Hamm and Suzanne Lewis, both of Billmeyer Hamm Consulting. You can learn more about them, BillmeyerHamm.com. And also, please help support the Tampa Bay business owners. Learn more about them, tbbo.org. You're listening to That Business Show. Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Crash on eastbound Bay Pines Boulevard just before the VA hospital, blocking the left-hand lane, and delays from the interchange there with Seminole Boulevard. Also slow traffic on the southbound side of the Veterans Expressway from around Gun Highway to Waters. Southbound 275 still jammed between Fletcher and Sly. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
While many rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. Mahatma Gandhi reached out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. So, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Today, mostly sunny with low humidity, high 80. Tonight, mostly clear, low 59. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasant once again, high 80.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business, every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Starting April 25th, it'll be every weekday morning starting at 7 a.m. So again, learn more about the program over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, it's TBBO Tuesdays. We feature a couple members from the Tampa Bay Business Owners Organization every Tuesday. And today we're talking with Kelly Hamm and Suzanne Lewis of Billmeyer Hamm Consulting. And Kelly, tell me, what has TBBO done for yourself and your business?
Yeah, so it's one of the best things that I've done. You know, when I was new, I worked for corporate America, and so this entrepreneurship is new to me. And TBBO, Chris and Katie have been phenomenal. Chris met with me. We just, clicked, as I know he does with many, many people, and opened up some new opportunities such as this, Jamie, coming on your show, with just introducing me to so many awesome people and making connections, and felt so welcomed in the Tampa and Tampa Bay community.
How did you find out about TBBO? Did you just join in the last year when you started your own business?
I did. I joined in October, and trying to think, someone through, I also am a certified executive coach, and someone through there had recommended TBBO. And so I inquired and met with Chris, had a fantastic conversation, and then, of course, fell in love with...
I never seen, I joined it last year, and it was a natural fit from a radio show. So when I started doing the radio show, I kept getting a lot of questions. Are you a TBBO member? Because well, you got 300 members there that are potential guests for your program. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go join TBBO. But the one thing I always found interesting is through the year, I've asked people about TBBO both in and out here. And while some people haven't heard of it, many people have, nobody ever says anything disparaging against it. Other organizations, they have their issues or their things. Nobody ever says anything negative.
Yeah, and I said, besides Chris, Katie, equally fall in love with Katie. She's just fantastic.
Right. And
then it's just, they made me feel very welcome. And as a workforce culture queen, that's the way I want people to think of me, as the culture queen, is they've got a fantastic culture over there. And they make you feel very, very welcome.
Yeah, right. It's like a family environment over there. Very helpful. Yeah. And again, it's an organization where business owners can learn from one another. It's not a networking group like a BNI where you go and you got to bring 5 leads with you to stay in the group. That's not what that is. I mean, networking happens naturally whenever you're in a group. So, I mean, yes, you get networking out of it, but it's really the peer-to-peer support that you get from one another.
It's really hard to sink a tightly run ship, though.
It is. And Chris has been running TBBO for 8 years and doing a fabulous job at it. And like I said, everybody who's been through here, if anybody leaves the organization, it's because, well, I didn't have time to go to the events. And that's really about the only thing, that, disparaging people will say. It's not really disparaging. It's they just didn't have time to go to the events. And there's many of them, the main event being the big event, one of which is going on tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. And I drive up from Sarasota, Bradenton. I live down there, but it's worth it to me, the TBBO and the people that I meet. And then, of course, the fantastic people over at the Center Club also have been terrific. So
Let's talk about your event that's coming up. You're doing a free breakfast seminar for the community. Tell us about this now.
Yeah, so one of the things, it's a free breakfast seminar on April 25th at the Center Club. Please come have breakfast on me. Suzanne and I will be there talking about, changing your workforce culture and how it drives your business results. And sometimes people just don't even understand what workforce culture even is. And we break it down and we say things like it's your communications, it's the way you show up, it's the vibe, it's the pulse. And so we're giving this free seminar and very much encouraging people to attend.
And register.
Yeah, contact me. Please RSVP through me at kham@billmeyerham.com so I can let our friends at Center Club know how many are coming to this free event. It's just, like I said to you earlier on one of the breaks, workforce culture, Jamie, is not a nice to have, it's a need to have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people will learn more about when they attend.
Right. Well, good information, good discussion today. Got about a minute left. Where do you see your company here in 5 years? What's the future and where are you taking this company?
This company is just booming and it's going to grow and explode because I think you're starting to see in the industry people paying attention again to workforce culture. Just last week, Samsung announced a big workforce culture initiative as they look at their strategies and their business goals that they need to zero in on their how they're performing their business and what their culture is all about. I think every day I'm talking to people about what can I do to make things better? How can I really drive my talent workforce so that we're successful and we're achieving our business goals? And so where do I see this? Absolutely growing. And we're not just Florida. That's the other thing. We're used to being corporate road warriors and traveling. And so we've got some people up in New York and Connecticut in the Midwest that we work with to do this.
No, good information and a great discussion today, as always.
Thank you so much for having us, Jamie. It was a huge, appreciation here. Thank you.
Great discussion again. Thank you both for coming in on this TBBO Tuesdays. Kelly Hamm and Suzanne Lewis, both with Billmeyer Hamm Consulting. You can learn more about them, billmeyerham.com, or pick up phone, give Kelly a call, 941-201-4650, 941-201-4650, and help you out with the workplace culture and bring a little bit of fun and some more profits back to your business. So, again, ladies, great job. And also thank you to Chris and Katie Kermitzos, the co-founders of the Tampa Bay Business Owners, for sending over great members each and every Tuesdays and for helping support this show with great content. Learn more about them over at tbbo.org. And remember, main event going on tomorrow at the Center Club at 5 o'clock. If you're interested in attending, please message me, jamie@tampabayradio.com, or just use my contact form. And again, be sure to tune in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. to That Business Show. Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.